Hey guys, my name is Shauna in case you don't know, and this is my second time filming this video. I filmed it on my laptop originally, and for some reason the quality was so poor that I just couldn't stand it, so we are going to film it on my phone. In case you can't tell from the title, I will be doing a summer reading TBR. These are the books that I hope to read this summer. I have 7 that I realistically will be able to read, but I have 4 that I might not be able to read. If you follow my Instagram, you may have already seen this list, so I'm sorry if you have, but I will be going a little more into detail about these books. So the first book I want to read is one that I want to finish up reading, and that is The Enchantress by Michael Scott. It is the last book in the series of the immortal Nicholas Flamel. So far I like this series. It's much more in-depth than what I originally thought it was when I started reading it when I was younger. It's so much more history-based and mythology-based, that so much research was put into it, and I really appreciate all the hard work and detail that Michael Scott put into this series. I've talked about this book before, but Article 5 was one of the best books I've ever read in my life, possibly. I mean, Harry Potter will always be better than any book that I read, but still, it was really high up there on my list. So I hope to finish off the Article 5 series with Breaking Point and then 3. In case you guys want to find out more about Article 5 or any of these books that I'm talking about, I will leave the Goodreads links down in the description below. And Kristen Simmons also is an amazing author, so you can probably check out more information about her on her website or on her Instagram. And the next book I want to read is Fever Code by James Dasher, and I know, yeah, I haven't read it yet. I know, I'm a slow reader, okay? I feel like I've mentioned this before, and I'm going to mention it again. It takes me like a month to read a book in the school year. In the summer I can read a little quicker, but also I have such a long TBR list. These are just the ones that I hope to focus on reading this summer. Also, this is a first edition of the Fever Code, so I'm hoping that I don't damage it or anything. This is a prequel to the Maze Runner series and a sequel to The Kill Order, so I'm excited to read it. The next book I'm going to read might be a shocker because people have probably assumed I've already read it, but in all honesty, I'm a slow reader. I've said that like 5 billion times so far, but I'm gonna read Allegiant because I haven't read this yet. I do know what happens at the ends, but still, don't talk about it in the comments. I don't want it to be spoiled exactly how it went down, but I do know generally what happens at the end of the book. I'm excited to read this book just because I really liked Insurgent. I felt it was a really good portrayal of PTSD. As someone who suffers from PTSD myself, Insurgent meant a lot to me, that there was a strong female lead character who was struggling from mental disorder. And I hope Allegiant doesn't disappoint. Although I know for some people it did disappoint, but I'm different than most people. And then after recovering from the sadness of Allegiant, I'm going to read 4, a Divergent collection. I still have the price tag on this from when I got it. I believe 4 is just a collection of different stories that happen throughout, I think, the first Divergent book, possibly Insurgent 2, just from 4's point of view, I believe. Yeah. Veronica Roth is an amazing author, and I'm excited to finish up reading this series, and maybe someday I'll dive into her other series. Now, I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children a year ago, so I'm a little rusty on exactly what happened. So I will be reading Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the graphic novel, just to refresh my brain on what's going on. And also, sometimes it's nice to mix up what I'm reading a little bit and decide to read more graphic novel type things. I'm not sure how I feel about the art style, but I am excited to read it. And I will be like doing reviews and stuff at the end of the summer of all these books I've read, so stay tuned for that. And after I read the graphic novel, it will get me all prepared to read Hollow City, the second book in the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children series. I'm sorry if I'm saying that weird. I'm excited to read this book. I really like the first book. I forget how the first book ended though, which is a major reason why I have to read this first. I don't think it ended like it did in the movie, because in the movie I don't see how they could go on all that much. It would sort of feel like it was dragging on, so I hope this one is good and doesn't disappoint. Now these next books I probably won't get around to reading. I know I just did 8 books, but I'm really hoping I can read this one this summer, at least get started on it in the summer, right after I read Miss Peregrine's the graphic novel. But these ones I might not be able to read this summer because I'm such a slow reader, but I do want to reread Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It is my favorite movie in the Harry Potter series, and I really like the book. I haven't actually reread the series as much as you guys might think. I am a huge Harry Potter fan, but I am a slow reader, and I get distracted very easily, so reading can sometimes be a struggle. I do hope I can reread this summer. If not, I will probably be rereading it all the way through my birthday month of November. These next 2 books aren't part of a series or anything, so they're sort of new to me, so I will be reading the back. The first one is Meadowtown by Kristen Simmons. Again, I love Kristen Simmons. She's an amazing lady. and I'm excited to read more of her work. So the back of the book reads, "The rules of Metaltown are simple. 1. Work hard. 2. Keep your head down. 3. Watch your back." When 3 unlikely allies, the orphan, the heiress, and the dreamer, break the rules, they'll have to rise up to challenge those with the power to crush them, or be crushed themselves. So that sounds really interesting. I'm excited to read it. I love how Kristen Simmons writes dystopia, but she doesn't take the typical stuff that are in dystopian novels. She doesn't necessarily do love triangles all that much. She doesn't necessarily take the typical thing that people might write about in stories, so I really like how she takes a genre and makes it her own, and she also tackles a lot of important issues in her novels, which I appreciate. I feel like I'm going to make my friend Ashley proud, but I'm going to be hopefully trying to read Six of Crows this summer. Depends on if I get in a reading funk this summer, if I can actually read a lot like I do some summers. Six of Crows is by Leigh Bardugo. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I don't know much about it myself, about what goes on in it. I just know that it's good. The back reads, "Ketterdam, a bustling hub of international trade where anything can be had for the right price, and no one knows that better than criminal prodigy Kaz Brecker. Kaz is offered a chance at a deadly heist that could make him rich beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. A convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wraith, a heart-render using her magic to survive the slums, a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. Kaz's crew are the only ones who might stand between the world and destruction if they don't kill each other first." This sounds like a really good suspenseful read, and I'm excited to get into it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and remember to subscribe to me. Also follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of my cosplays on Instagram, as well as just some things that I'm doing in my life, and I have some exciting things coming up that you might want to stick around and learn more about. I'll see you guys all in a future video. Bye!